Hi, it's Hazel, and welcome to my channel, Hazel and Aka Design. I realize that this desktop may look as though there's been an explosion in the studio, but no, it's just par for the course. It's kind of how things look, especially when I cleaned my desktop the other day to do the live with Joan from Joan's Junk Journals and More. And thought, well, okay, I obviously didn't work my way through all the scraps. Let's carry on. So what I did some time ago was cover a bunch of, I guess most of these are printed on one side. I wanted to, number one, start using the lace that I have. So what I did was pick lightweight, typically one-sided scrapbooking paper that I wanted to cover. So maybe the top of it wasn't the greatest, or it would still show through a lacy piece like this. But basically, I wanted to use up these little pieces of lace and, of course, the whatever elements would be added to them to finish them off. So I did that, and I also sewed around each thing. Now, some of these, I guess all of these have white backgrounds, which means that I can choose at any point whether they are journaling cards or whether they become pockets. So, obviously we're not going to get through all of these today. In some cases, I let if it was a scalloped edge lace, I let it dangle below the edge of the card just so it looks fancy. Similar there. So if I was looking at this one, I would think it's either a pocket with this being the top, or if it was going to be a side tuck, typically, I don't know, I guess because I'm right-handed, I would have it facing that way. But of course, it could be that way as well. So it's just a matter of how, oh, and I think you can tell, I guess, that I sewed around them, which is an extra bit of reassurance that it's going to stay where it belongs. So this one, again, dangling. Now, because this business of going through containers and scrap pieces, and there's more off to my left here, I started some of these, or did some work on some of these before I turned on the camera. Okay, this was the first one I did. So this is a nice pink one. Now, I guess I folded it over with the intention that this be the top of the pocket. So I just used scrap paper like this. I used a little border like this, and I used a strip of some digital, I guess. And then this was a, what do you call it, chipboard button. And for some reason, I seem to have this kind of cord almost. This may be from a necklace, to be honest. And I threaded that through and glued it all down. And in fact, this is now, let me find something. A pocket with obviously another pocket. Okay, so this one is done. I'll show you what else I pre-established. Okay, this one is, I really didn't like that paper, and the back is not so good. So this will be a pocket as well. So I've had this this was a piece of file folder, I guess, with, what are these guys? Nasturtiums. This was a napkin that I glued to it. I had a broken piece of punchinello, so I glued that down. I had a bunch of these little punch-out tags that you get in some of the old scrapbooking kits. So I doubled up on those. Now, I'm thinking I should probably put a dollop of glue down here just so so it doesn't lift up, and then you can see that I just looped that grosgrain ribbon over. So the minute that glue is ready, I'll do that. Now, I was thinking that this could probably be a belly band because it's rather shallow for a pocket. So that's what I'll do. I'll glue it along those edges. I'll glue that down, and we'll have two, count them, two done. So again, there is no shortage of, maybe I should just put it on here just a little bit to hold it sort of in place. And I can, because I'm gluing it now, I can choose to have it slightly askew if I want. I wish my knot would have been closer, but that's okay too. I didn't want to waste any more time trying to get it just so. Now, if you've ever tried, excuse me, if you've ever tried to glue things down to lace, you know that that is a little bit tricky. So I have been using Fabri-Tac as opposed to art glitter glue because I tried it on one of them and it didn't work worth a darn. So just apply a little pressure. We have that and we have that. Okay, cool. Two down. Now, this is she not the cutest? I'll show you someone, and I can't remember if it was Lily Rose Blue, Carol from Lily Rose Blue. Somebody sent me a bunch of these wrappers and told me that they were Ukrainian. Now, I must have, shown them in a, like a Happy Mail share, and somebody in the comments said, that's not Ukrainian, that's Russian. So as much as I'm a foe of Russia and what it does, I'm still going to use them because she's the sweetest little thing ever. Can you imagine a little tiny girl like that wearing a kerchief? Again, same not so attractive paper. First of all, I was just going to put this little girl on here, but then I thought, well, she's kind of almost floating there. So I am going to add the other half of that wrapper. Now, oh, I forgot to put the top back on this. Oh, yuck, that all got globby. I think I'll just, again, save time and frustration and just use this throughout. Now, I'm kind of thinking that, of course, with her being a person, naturally this will have to remain in port. Oh, I have this little bit of something here. I could add that too. What the heck? You know, this is how silly things get at some point where we just, if it's on our desks, it's fair game. Just trying to, whoops, hold that down a bit. I see that I didn't get all the gesso, so this is my third video of the day. I had so many appointments, medical and otherwise, this week, so much running around that obviously if you're not home, if I'm not home, I'm not getting much done. I'm trying to also binge watch some videos because I've fallen behind in that department. And anyway, I just thought I'd better, get a grip on things and try to get a few videos done and scheduled because that is my preferred way of approaching that, so that I have the peace of mind that I'm ready to, if something were to happen and I have a little bit of a slush pile going. And pray for me. I have to start working on my income tax. Jeez, what a disgusting job that is. But I remember years ago when I was going to personal development seminars, and one of the big names in the field was Jim Rohn, ROHN. And I saw him in Canada, and I bought some of his tape programs. I saw him live a couple of times. And he was such a, he's since passed away. He was such a pragmatist and had so many easy to remember lines. Anyway, I remember when my kids, of course I had initially, when a person would buy you know, those programs, they were all cassettes. And of course we had cassette players in the car as well. And let me just talk about this one. And while I'm gluing, so this is, again, pretty thin paper. Folded it over to make this part a little sturdier. Fussy cut this. And see, Susie, this is a Jessica Wilcox Smith illustration. So I know you've seen these. Anyway, and it is just on copy paper, so maybe what I'll do in this case is use glue stick and then maybe just a bit of the Fabri-Tac around the perimeter. Because I think, you know, when paper is so thin, if I were to use such a thick glue, you know, especially if it's coming out on the thick side, I think it would make for a very lumpy, wavy type image here. So that's what I'm going to attempt. Typically I would not do this. I would use art glitter glue, but again, with the lace, it seems to be too difficult to make contact to get a good grip. Anyway, back to those cassettes. So, of course, son isn't old enough to have a driver's license, so of course I'm shuttling them around as mothers do. And if it was a longer trip, wherever, then I would obviously slap a CD into the player and, you know, driver's choice. And of course, there was complaining and moaning about how that, you know, why are they subjected to that kind of stuff? Little did they know that it was like, well, I wouldn't say it was brainwashing, but it was like infusing wisdom into their little heads. And, you know, like, hey, when am I getting my thank you card for doing that kind of thing? I'm going to try, see, I didn't get very close to the edge on this side, so let's just top this off. Like, I think the lace is really nice, but it, you know, it does require maybe an extra step or so. Anyway, why did I bring up Jim Rohn in the first place? I did a little side trip down memory lane and forgot what my initial point was. Maybe it'll come back to me. Jim Rohn. Talking about this little girl. I don't know. Maybe it'll come back to me. I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought there. Okay, what else have I pre-selected? Oh, I also had this greeting card, or cover, one side of a greeting card. It's been kicking around. And of course, these flowers are cute and colorful. So I thought, well, let's separate them and let's use them. So I am ready the moment I have, excuse me, the right place to put that. So let's see what else I figured out here. Or maybe I didn't figure anything else out. Oh, the only other one that I kind of thought I would use, Joni sent me this little scrap of something. This woman on the phone, and she's got her credit card handy, so I guess she's planning to order something. So I thought that could go on there, but it doesn't quite seem like enough by itself. So You know, I don't particularly care for some of these things, but I have to use them. Maybe that flower, that first choice, would do. And I guess what they serve to do, and it's fairly flat, what they serve to do is help strengthen things as well. Mind you, like that flower has that same color. Maybe I should, what would happen if I, okay, I'm going to tear around this and see if I could layer it on top of the, so in this case, I'm really trying to get rid of as much of that. Oh, it's on one of those little foam things, so I can just peel it off. Well, that could work, and that picks up her blouse color. Okay, so we'll try the same strategy. We'll use this glue stick. Yes, there are so many pieces of, and I don't know if you can tell, but there is blue, green, and sort of that orangey color in this. Oh, I didn't put glue around the edge. I mean, well, let's see. Maybe it's not too late. It has been windy here, you know, sort of those spring winds, which also, of course, make it a dangerous, I'm sorry, a dangerous wildlife season. Wildlife, I mean wildfire season, because, you know, things haven't greened up yet. So the fire hazard is high. And the winds just, of course, create more wind and really can cause devastating results. Sorry about my throat and my voice. Maybe that's what you get for doing 3 videos in a row. Anyway, it also has been, we just have a satellite, well, we have a satellite dish on our old TV tower. If any of you are old enough to remember TV antennas, and then the camera, I think they call it a radio. The radio for receiving the Wi-Fi signal is mounted up there as well. So when the weather is kind of, you know, a little disturbed, it shakes everything and the signal is gone more often than it's on. So that's kind of annoying, but anyway, today is Friday as I'm doing this, and tomorrow we're returning Gertie to her master. My daughter still isn't back from her junket to South America. I guess there will be some stories to hear about that. Yeah, so Gertie has been here, well, it'll be 6 days at that point. So I think it's probably time to take her back. Who knows, there might be a garage sale or 2 in Edmonton that I need to hit. And again, I don't mind. In fact, I like it, and let me pull it down even further. I like when something extends beyond. Maybe I'll leave that little foam thing there. Maybe I'll rip it off. I like when something extends beyond the edge. Seems more fancy. More fancy. Oh, I know what. I was telling you about the disgusting nature of doing income tax prep. What Jim Rohn used to say, and of course he was an American, and he was very successful. I think his business, now maybe I don't know, do we call it an MLM? Multi-level marketing. But anyway, I think he was the owner, founder, whatever, of Herbalife, which was supposed to be some kind of a diet thing. Anyway, so he must have had $1 or $2, and he could never understand why people always complained about having to pay income tax. He said, don't you understand that that is what feeds the golden goose? The golden goose meaning, you know, living in a prosperous country where anyone can, you know, fulfill their dreams, blah, blah, blah. So I try to think to myself, I guess it's better to have to pay tax because that means that, you know, you've made some money and at some level you're successful, rather than, you know, not have to pay any tax, which means, you know, maybe you're losing ground. This has little bits of purple. Maybe I can use this guy. Oh, see, the gem fell off there. I did see a loose gem in one of these little containers. And I've got everything in here. Got spools of thread. And this, I don't even know what this stuff is, but I should use it. I wound it up. It's like, I don't know what it's supposed to be. It's not like vellum or anything. I have one more place I can look for that gem. And I mean, if I don't find it quickly, that's okay as well, because I can glue something on after the fact. Yeah, so in case you need to help rationalize why you're having to pay income tax, just think of feeding the golden goose that lays the golden egg and blah, blah, blah. I'm almost convinced telling you that. I don't readily see that stone, but it doesn't matter. I will find it and attach it at some point. So let's gingerly remove this. Now, of course, this green thing now, if I wouldn't have torn it, I mean, I could straighten it out with my cutter. This could also, that could be kind of cute. Why am I doing it the hard way? So obviously I'm not going to get through all this stuff because there's far too much of it. But I did want to show you that all of these things that are kicking around here can easily be used up in some way. Oh, and well, this is one of those laundry bag things, lingerie bags. If you saw the video where I opened my package from Joni, Not So Fast Joni, you know that she gave me an old-fashioned rag type angel. So anyway, I took her head off and cut off all these muslin strips. And because, you know, it was old, on here are her wings. Because, now this is, I guess at one point somebody must have used, who knows, maybe even an ink pad or something to add depth or grunge or who knows. Anyway, I washed all this stuff in this bag, dried it in this bag, and now I have a million of these things. So I actually pulled a few out here as a reminder to use them, because if I turned some of the, and I didn't think about turning some of them into tags, but I should, or I could. Also have things to look through here. Maybe this is where I saw the, nope. Anyway, I'll keep looking. Where is it? I have this slot punch that I love. That's exactly what the size of the opening it makes. And I'm sure one of these would fit through very nicely. So I should remember to make it, you know, a tag or something in that way. Okay, so this, I'm going to use it as a pocket. That could be there. Now, do these other flowers, I could use all of these together in one fell swoop and be done with it. Although it does almost seem as though this disappears a bit on there. You know, it obviously on a higher contrast thing. So how can I remedy that? Now I've got these little punch out things. These are old price tags. Vintage linen napkins, $8. Find another green one. I don't know. That's the problem with doing this on camera. I feel like I need to talk to you and explain my thinking process, such as it is. This, I kind of don't like that got creased there. But it tends to be a fairly slow process. I don't think these guys really add anything, so let's take them off there. It feels like it needs something underneath. Can you tell that maybe I had this bit of paper, and this was the only corner that didn't have grease on it? That might be okay. At least it'll make that flower pop. Covers up quite a bit of the that's not so bad. What else have I got with these chippy things? This one looks better, I would say. Now I do also have I have some of this fabric that has ivy leaves on it. Mind you, this is almost like I could be sewing a snippet out of this. I can use it here though. Let's use the end that has more green on it. Yeah, and then I could find a maybe even a purple gemstone. I think the stone that I saw loose, and I didn't know where it came from, was kind of an orangey, bronzy color. Ugh. So if you, mind you, I don't know when this will air, but if you caught my first episode of Heart to Heart with Hazel, a live event, I think by all indications it was a success. My guest was Carol from Crinkled Path, and we had a blast. Oh, here's a bit of green seam binding. That could be cool too. This is almost like doing a cluster. Okay, let's figure out what's what. Anyway, I'm just waiting to, you know, Jonna from Preppy Crafty Girl was one of the people in the chat, and she expressed interest in being a future guest. So I have reached out to her. Now I wonder if I can make that stick with, maybe I'll use this. Reached out to her via emails. As last time I checked my email, I still hadn't heard back from her. So, you know, if I don't hear back fairly quickly, I'll just move on to someone else and catch up with her another time. But yeah, I had fun. I think the people in the chat all said that they had fun, so that's all good. And it's kind of cool. You can see the lacy design through that. Now, am I pushing my luck with the seam binding? And in a case like this where it's a pocket, you don't want too much stuff extending beyond the top of the pocket because it's just going to be annoying to anybody trying to get stuff in and out. Let's just pretend we had a loop, a little shallow, kind of flat loop. Okay, I think that's what I'm going to do. Can I get, I'll do 3. I'll cut this into thirds. And I guess if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. So let's see. I should also be. I could also be using my tacky glue here. Aleene's tacky. And again, breaking the 2 edges here. Okay, let's see what happens if we make a couple of loops. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue these closed, and then I can putz around with them and see how to very artfully position them. And I'm kind of offsetting it a bit, like I'm not lining it up perfectly. That way you get a little bit of a more interesting look. So yeah, it was a lot of fun finding out. And of course I know Carol better than I know Jonna, so it will be you know, that then is the challenge. That, you know, then you have to be kind of a more skillful interviewer to get information out of people. So yeah, my mind is kind of buzzing a bit with, well, who else? Who else? Who else? And, you know, hopefully people get over, like I had to, get over their reluctance to show their faces. Okay, let's see what we get here. Now, I don't really want to space it out like, you know, a third, a third, a third, because that's going to look a little hokey, I think. But if I do 2 together and a third one, yeah, okay. Let's do it. See, the danger when you pick it up is, okay, well, where was I supposed to put it? I think I moved it. This guy is going to be right. And of course, at this point, I'm just trying to catch it. And if I have to go back in and add a bit more glue, let's just check placement here. If I have to go back in and glue something down, that's that's easier after you know that you've got it in the right spot. So yes, I'm hoping that I might catch a garage sale tomorrow. I went to surprisingly few last year. So maybe this will be more of maybe my luck will change. And honestly, sometimes I just go with my gut feeling. If I feel like, oh, I can't be bothered, I don't want to drive around in circles looking for the address. And especially it annoys me when people can't do some decent signage. So then I just get annoyed and I think, well, I can live with whatever you have, and if you can't do decent signage, well, tough. I'm not going to waste any more time or effort looking for you. And sometimes I have a good feeling and I act on it, and sometimes when I have no trouble whatsoever talking myself into not stopping at a thrift store, not stopping at a garage sale, then like you don't know what, you can't miss what you don't know you missed, kind of thing. And sometimes I think it's good if we exercise our self-control a little bit and this feels like it's too long now. And you realize, of course, you know what the dilemma is going to be here in just 1 minute, is me trying to rip this off when it's in this kind of so maybe what I should do instead, do I have anything that looks remotely like I stamped a bunch of these. Yeah, that's better. It sort of extends the whole design downwards, and it doesn't make that look like, oh, what is that expanse of fabric doing there? And there's a little fleur-de-lis. So yes, one of the other people who's already agreed to be on a heart-to-heart is Carrie, the paper monkey. So, because I've already reached out to John, I'll wait and see what her answer is, and once we talk dates, and then I will, of course, reach out to Carrie, and whichever one I make arrangements with first will be the next guest. Okay, how long have we been going at this? 38 minutes. That's probably plenty. So let me, and I do have these ribbon roses. There are 4 of them, kind of a dusty rose color. These were also on that angel, so I need to use them because they had already been cut down and hot glued into place. Oh, now I see the purple ribbon. Because they had been cut down and glued into place, it's not going to take much for them to come apart. So I need to use them sooner rather than later. So I'll just show you. See, that would look good on that color and on that color. And on those two are the same. Yeah, you'll have to either see a follow-up Friday video, or if I get my act together and post something on Instagram. That could also work. Then you might see that's not as good. Yeah, one evening I was watching something on whatever, TV or video, I don't know. And I started separating all these things and putting like with like, because honestly, when it is a big mess, oh, and I have about 3 of these, I think. I don't even know where they came from. Oh, you know what I bet you they are? They are probably circles that were cut to use with a self-covering button kit. Probably thrifted that in some sort of, oh, here the, see, I could have used this. And again, you know, as much as a person would like to throw everything, including the kitchen sink, at these things, it's wise to remember that, whoops, that, you know, they are intended for the inside of a journal. So you can't go overboard. That might, the more orangey parts of that might work. Oh, here's another one of those button cover things. Yeah, heck of a mess. And then I put the teeny tiniest things together, and I think I'll end up doing a video on making sort of those micro mini clusters. Okay, you see how things are starting to shape up? This is looking a bit, I said 38 minutes was enough, so what do? I keep on going. Ugh. Let's just do that. Maybe I can group a few things. You'll get a feel for what my intentions are. I also have strips like this. Oh, I also, this came off something. I'm not sure what. Maybe some bridal type thing. Okay, what have we, oh yeah, I found this. I must have, I know, I kind of remember working on this before. These were also punch outs. Some of them, where I didn't like the colors, this is almost like gel printing or something that I did at the back. You can see I took off the little things that, this almost feels leathery, you know, once you get some acrylic paint on it. Those almost look like gears, to be honest. What else have I got in here? I've got a few more of these flowers. Okay, goodbye. So, yeah, these could be, but mind you, I probably need a bigger project than anything I have off in the works here. Yeah, this is, but you see how this can become something? Can become something. And this can become something, and clearly I've done some doodling on there. This is untouched so far. Throw it back in there. Anyway, I think I'm going to... These are labels off mangoes. Anyway, I am going to continue working on these, and we shall see what we see. Okay. See, I don't like that at all. Oh, that's a card. Throw that back in there for another day, because you know, in the craft world, there's always another day. Here's some grungy. The thing is, I like this. I don't want to cover very much of it up. Put that aside for another day. Anyway, guys, I will continue putting some of these things together. I better use these before they get more damaged, now that they're even smaller than they were before. And again, as I said, you'll either see them in an Instagram post or on a follow-up Friday, just so that you know that I did finish what I started. What a concept. And anyway, just to remind you what we did get done today. That one with a pocket. That one, which is probably going to be a journaling tag or a side-loading pocket. This one, top-loading pocket. Cutie Patootie, side-loading pocket. Cutie Patootie. I think I might have to sneak some art glitter glue under there. And belly band pocket thingamajigger. Okay, and that is the technical term, so it's best if you learn it early rather than later. Okay, guys. Oh, and I fussy cut this out, but it's too big to put anywhere so far. But this was Costco magazine. Anyway, okay, guys, we will see you in the next one. Thanks so much. Bye.